aim of marketing is not selling. So if you look at what Drucker says that the marketing's aim should be to make selling superfluous. That is, effective selling should be preceded by needs assessment, market research, product development, pricing and distribution. In other words, you should not be selling a product just because you have manufactured it, even though it does not satisfy the needs of the consumer. So you should assess his needs first. How do you assess his needs? In other words, you assess his needs through a sustained or systematic market research process. So this is the importance of having market research in the present day markets. Before you come out with a product, you go into market research, find out whether this product is required for the individual. When you are able to come to a conclusion that this product is required for the individual, then you can go through your market research study, then you can go in for your product development, and it is likely that this product may be able to sell or capture the market in a good measure. So this is what is called effective selling. The psych him out type of thing which I just mentioned, that is the American automobile industries. Many times this psyching him out is referred to in the present day circumstance as aggressive selling. This aggressive selling carries high risks. You should not go in for aggressive selling because suppose you mention so many features in the product. Suppose there are 10 features which you have mentioned. Suppose it is 1 or 2 which is not there in the product. Then the consumer might excuse you in inverted commas. May say, okay, just 1 or 2 features he has added. Okay, the remaining 8 are there. I am reasonably happy. Suppose you gave him 10 features and the consumer finds that it is only 4 or 5 which are there in the product. So 5 are not there in the product. Then it will have a deleterious effect on your selling process. It will not be effective selling. In other words, what you are looking at as aggressive selling may actually backfire. It may backfire through this word of mouth marketing. The consumer might tell others, the prospective buyers, that 10 features were offered to me, only 4 or 5 are there. You better be careful when going in for this product. So this marketing concept becomes very essential where you are giving more or less a true picture of what the product is capable of offering to the individual. So the formal definition of the marketing concept which we look at is where you can say it is key to achieving organizational goals. It consists in determining the needs and wants of targeted markets and delivering the desired satisfaction more effectively and efficiently than competitors. Kindly note that there may be a lot of competitors for your product. They may also be satisfying the needs of the same market segment only. Suppose your product is offered in the same market segment. It has to offer something extra than what is already on offer. Selling focuses on the needs of the seller, marketing on the buyer's needs. Kindly note this. Selling always on the needs of the seller. That is, he wants his product to be pushed at any cost. But whereas marketing looks at the buyer's needs, it is preoccupied with the need to convert product into cash. Marketing at satisfying consumers' needs by means of product and the whole cluster of things associated with creating, delivering and finally consuming it. This is a statement which is attributed to Levitt, and this is given to you in a wonderful manner in his article called Marketing Myopia, which he gave in the year 1960. This was published by Harvard Business Review in the year 1960, and this is considered to be a classic article even to this day. Okay, this statement is attributed to him. So you look at the selling concept, you're looking at products. selling and promotion. You make profits through sales volume. You look at the marketing concept. What are you looking at marketing? You are looking at customer needs. You are looking at integrated marketing. You are looking at profits through customer satisfaction. So you are looking at profits through customer satisfaction, which is always very desirable. I have given a few examples here. One of the examples is that of the Maruti car in the Indian market. When it was introduced in the 80s, what was the type of marketing focus the Maruti car had? The marketing focus which the Maruti had was the middle class customer orientation. So in the 80s, what is the type of Indian market which was there? If you had a car, then you are from the upper class of society or the upper economic strata of society. As a middle class individual, you could never have a car or you could never buy a car. So the Maruti car, when it came out into the market, it wanted to offer to the individual, the Indian consumer, a compact car at an affordable price. A compact car at an affordable price with an Indian tag. The Indian tag was called Maruti car, and the Maruti 800 which came in the 80s, it was priced at about 54,000 rupees. So, and it was looking sleek with good painting and all those types of things. Naturally, the middle class Indian, he was attracted to the Maruti car, but he was also concerned during that time when he looked at the Ambassador car or the Premier Padmini, that is a Fiat car. He used to think that this Fiat and the Ambassador, they are more rugged or compared to the Maruti. That is the safety aspect of this in the Maruti, whether it is being compromised. This was one of the questions which was coming to his mind right in the 80s only, and which was more or less proved by many of the types of accidents which occurred where this Maruti car could not sustain those accidents. So if you hit an Ambassador car, there used to be a small this thing. Suppose even if a Dharwad bison were to hit an Ambassador car, it is not the Ambassador car which would be hurt, it would be the bison which will be hurt. Your car will be standing still in the road, but the bison will be moving the other way. This is how they used to look at the Ambassador car. Now suppose you are many times, this is Maruti cars. I have taken one more example. This example is from the telephone industry. What is the type of phones which we had in the 80s? We had a mechanical phone coming out from the Indian telephone industries. Incidentally, Indian telephone industries is the first public sector to be started in the independent Indian, sovereign Indian state. So in the 1948, what was the objective of this ITI? It was to fulfill the telecommunication needs of the country. It came out with a mechanical phone, and this mechanical phone was weighing about 10 kgs. Okay, in other words, it's a heavy phone and you have to ring this different numbers mechanically, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. So many times you used to wonder why this phone is so heavy. Second, can we not come out with a phone which is slim, where it can be a push button type, where you can get these types of all the features of a phone, but not having to go through all this mechanical circus, and the weight of the phone will also be substantially reduced. The result of that was, in 1988 or 87, the same Indian telephone industry came out with an electronic phone, which was a slimline phone. That slimline phone was particularly attractive because it was very cute. It had all the push button types of features which were available. So the consumer said, what a phone to have from ITI. So in other words, the market was very happy with this. But when it came to the pricing of this particular product, they found that this product is priced very high. Then there was this grey market which was available in a place like Bangalore only in the 80s. And when they went to this grey market, that is, this is not an authentic market. What do you mean by not an authentic market? He is not going to give guarantee for the product or whatever, which ITI used to say this is a product which is guaranteed. But this gray market, the same product was available in the gray market at a much lesser price. The result of that was the slimline phone which came out from ITI could not really penetrate the market, and had it, in a way it was a failure on the price front. Okay, this is what characterized the market. So what we have done in this whole lecture is we have looked at the different concepts. We have looked at why the marketing concept is more important, and before we end this lecture, we will look at what does a marketing concept call for. It calls for what is called the coordinated marketing. What is this coordinated marketing? That is, you have to do internal marketing as well as external marketing. So the internal marketing is among the different functions within the organization. It can be sales force, advertising, marketing research, or with other departments. They must really get enthused to sell the product by the organization. Suppose you are not able to convince your own people about the product you are manufacturing, then it is a different scenario altogether. So this internal marketing is required. It can be with respect to hiring, training, and motivating the employees to serving the customers well. So when you look at an organization, a marketing organization, you should look at the marketing organization like an inverted pyramid. What is this inverted pyramid? It is, if you see the company organization chart from a marketing, this inverted pyramid has customers at the top. Then the next one is what is called the frontline people, maybe your general managers or whatever. Then the middle management, maybe your managers, and below, then the frontline people can all your supervisors or whatever it is. The middle management can be your managers. The top management can be your general managers or the deputy general managers and above or whatever it is. So these are the people. So in other words, the top management, it says, should be in contact with your customers. So it is not just customers in contact with the frontline people. It is also the top management of the organization which should always be in constant touch with your customers. Suppose this is what you are seeing in the present Indian market. Take a mutual funds market. There are many mutual fund players. So in the market, and they address you from the top management. He can be the chief general manager of that particular mutual fund. He wants to give the features of that fund and say these are the features which this fund is offering. Kindly go in for this fund. So in other words, you are seeing a different situation altogether in the Indian market where you look at the top management in contact with the prospective customers. It can be through different channels, whether it is visual media or print media, or directly addressing letters to the prospective customers. So this is where you look at a correct view of the company organization chart from the marketing perspective. So this is what we look at. So these four things, that is the market focus, customer orientation, coordinated marketing, and profitability, they form what is called the four pillars of the marketing concept. So the market focus, customer orientation, coordinated marketing, and profitability form what is called the four pillars of the market